What is going on, buddy? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome along to episode number 7 of the F1 Ultimate Career Series for the Dutch Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to go check that one out before you see this one, and make sure to get subscribed for more future F1 content as the series continues on. So, 4th Grand Prix of the 2020 season, the Dutch Grand Prix, making its grand return to the F1 calendar. Before we do get into that, we have got some upgrades we need to make with our resource points from the last race, and I did say we'd go for that major durability upgrade when we had the points to do it. We've gone for it now, so that's now on the board to go with our minor one we went before last time out in China. And of course we are continuing to close in on Renault and McLaren, those two not making up too much ground. Renault now more or less brought up to speed with McLaren, Mercedes continue to lead Red Bull, Racing Point continue to lead Ferrari in front of us, so the pace is there. In recent races we've been scoring points, we're becoming closer and closer to those slightly higher finishes, so we could see us once again take another points scoring finish today here at Zandvoort. But of course we have got some more points coming through, both durability upgrades went off for that hitch. So we'll go now into a different department, see both those in there. I thought I could go for a more durability one, but not enough points. So we'll go for this minor chassis upgrade here. We haven't looked into the chassis department too much since the start, so that's one more upgrade on that board there, and that'll help us close in. The power unit, I'm slightly concerned there, because there's a few parts that are looking quite close in terms of wear, and I'm not sure how long they're going to hold out on this game, because it's obviously been a fair while, but we'll have to see if that's cross that bridge when we come to it. So without further ado, let's jump into qualifying for the 4th Grand Prix of the season. Let's head to Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. So here we go then, time for qualifying for the Dutch Grand Prix. Round before of the season, of course, this Grand Prix was set to come back in 2020, but of course COVID hit, and as a result the initial return to Zandvoort was pushed back to 2021, and Verstappen obviously taking victory, when 3 years unbeaten at the circuit before he was beaten by Lando Norris in last year's Grand Prix. So merging out onto the racetrack and in towards the right-hander of turn 2, very close to go over the curbs, so I want to be careful doing that in the Grand Prix, and obviously on our main qualifying run as well. Of course, the last few qualifying sessions have all finished in P14 for all of them, so if we can try and improve on that today, that'd be fantastic. Perhaps if we can knock ourselves into the top 10s. Down towards turn 1 for our first flying lap into that straight right-hander, and on corner exit, pushing out, going over to the left-hand side of the track, positioning ourselves for turn 2 nicely. Way too wide there, not getting towards the apex, and as a result that then messes up our entry into turn 3, which we still managed to get away from. If we can avoid making that slide that we did on the outlap, then obviously that'd be the main thing there. Lando Norris is McLaren behind us here, so of course last time we had Bottas and Mercedes behind him, he was obviously way faster than we are, but I'd say we're close to being on pace with Norris at this point in terms of car performance, so we won't let him go. We won't botch our first attempt this time round. Sector one a bit longer in this case, 31.3 the first sector, and going over those curbs there, going between turns 8 and 9, and going now towards turn 10 in towards the DRS zone. The left-hander here, keep it to the inside. Want to avoid sliding off this corner as well, low speed exit. Norris right behind us, but not close to go for a move, so we'll maintain where we are for now, going in towards the third and final sector, 50.4, our second sector split, and into turns 11 and then 12. 2 more corners to go down the circuit, positioning ourselves to the left-hand side for turn 13, taking relatively quick, want to avoid the curbs on corner exit, easy to reach those as well as we do, and then through the last corner, turn 14, one of the fastest, if not the fastest on the circuit, DRS in full deploy as we charge down the main straight once again to complete our first lap. It's a 1 minute 12.4, Magnussen was faster, Norris was 1:11.7, so obviously way faster than us there. We've got a bit of work to do, but obviously that was just a banker lap, so we'll go again for a second attempt on these tyres, and off the last corner improving by half a second here, so we could push us into 1 minute 11s, into the high 11s, over the line 1:11.8, so not too bad. Puts us into P4 in front of both Magnussen and Russell, Albon and Ricciardo and Norris all there in front of us as of right now. So Renault and McLaren still a bit faster in terms of raw speed, in terms of qualifying, but we can definitely match them on race pace. P13 right now to start things off with the slowest car in the 111s, Magnussen and everyone below him in the 112s. On to our third lap here, second set of soft tyres, improving a little bit, but not enough right now to regain any places. Ricciardo's at 111.6. So we can try and nab a place or two potentially off him and Norris if we can get anything in terms of improvement here. But we can't do that. Again, over the curbs at 13, and that will cost us a tenth or so. And off the last corner, I'm going to improve by that 1/10 we had left, and less than that at this point, only by 0.08, and that keeps us in P13 for now. Improvement, but it's not enough. We still need that little bit more to try and tackle Norris and Ricciardo, potentially even the cars in front of them, to try and potentially nab a top 10 qualifying result. I was going to go for another lap on these softs, but of course you saw the entry into turns 2 and 3. So we'll go again on our last set of tyres on this 4th and final lap, and improving by a quarter of a second going into the last sector. We try and nab a bit more here through these last 2 corners, which have been our burdens so far in this session. Into the right-hander, keeping it towards the inside curb, and on the exit, keeping it away from the outside ones. And look at the time we gained there, so another 2/10 or so now in our pocket. He's charged down towards the line, going to improve by almost half a second here, but as well into the 111s, 111.3, it's now for P10. 10th place, that's fantastic qualifying for us, given the qualifying position in the first few races. But in the end, it comes down to the checker flag here, and we crossed the line. In the end, we did get knocked down by 1 place, so in the end, it'll be P11, which is our best qualifying in the career series as of yet. So a fantastic end to the session.
It's time to remind ourselves of our top 3. Bottas, Hamilton and Max Verstappen. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
So Bottas on pole then, Hamilton second, and home hero Verstappen will start from third. For us, it's P11, beaten in the end only just by Lando Norris once more. Ricciardo, Magnussen, Ocon behind us, and Mick Gasly in P15. Can we score some points from here? It's time to find out.
It was 35 years ago that the late great Niki Lauda took his 25th and final Grand Prix win here at Zandvoort. He came from 10th on the grid to beat his McLaren teammate Alain Prost by just 0.2 of a second. Well, Zandvoort is a very different circuit today, of course, but still one with an incredible legacy. And we're going to add to that. Welcome along to the 2020 Dutch Grand Prix. A lap of this short 2.6 mile Zandvoort circuit features 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left. The main straight is 678 metres long and heads into turn 1, the Tarzan corner. With DRS down the main straight into the braking zone, that could be the best overtaking opportunity on the track. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Can we begin by having a chat about Sergio Perez? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Vettel, Lance Stroll and Leclerc, Sainz, Albon, Norris and Cohen, Ricciardo, Ocon, Kimi Raikkonen and Gasly, Perez. They've taken a grid penalty. Russell, Romain Grosjean and Antonio Giovinazzi. Latifi and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Here we go then, time for action of the Dutch Grand Prix, starting from P10 on the grid thanks to Sergio Perez getting a grid penalty. In terms of strategy, I did consider going for the alternate strategy today, just to try something different, but we'll stick with the mediums, 2 hards, and we'll go 16 laps on the mediums and the last 20 on those hard tyres. Here we go now, on the grid, 5 red lights for the Dutch Grand Prix, round 4 of the season, and the return to Zandvoort. It's time to bring the action. It's lights out, foot to the floor, and we are underway. Good start from Ricciardo on our left-hand side as he charges towards turn 1. Ocon, his teammate, might try and go to the inside, going towards that first right-hander. Going to switch to the outside line, try and go around the Honey Badger through the first corner. Can we get back past him on corner exit? Yes, we can. Back into P10 for now, but he's still there. Can we clear him into 2? Can't quite do it. He's still down our inside, jumping back in front of the Australian and maintaining P10 off the opening few corners. Alex Albon, our next target here in the Red Bull, going to try and slide around him on the outside, going through the first sector here and making our way up towards turn 6. Can't make a move on Albon. Will sustain P10 for now. Ricciardo still giving us pressure behind Sergio Perez. What a start from him. He's already up to P12. He's made a fantastic getaway there. So a few places off the line for the Mexican, but for us though, it's still, as we were from the lights, P10. Norris made a great getaway. He started P9. He's up to P7 now. So fantastic start for our compatriot in the McLaren. Of course, we'd like to be up there with him ourselves, but for now, it's P10 on these medium tyres, because everyone around us is on soft, so we could be under pressure in terms of tyre softness over the course of this first stint. And on to lap 2, Albon, our first target, we're trying to get around the outside, once again challenging the second Red Bull driver in an attempt to be trying to let the higher-ups know who wants his seat for next season. There we go, there's the move made. Alex Albon now in our mirrors, P9 is secure, and Carlos Sainz, we can't seem to stop finding in these Grand Prix. Our next target, on to lap 3, Albon still giving chase behind us, looking for a move, trying to get back around us for P9 as he pushed through turns number 9 and 10, a bit wide going into turn 10, and Albon sees his opportunity, bit of contact there, didn't quite see him coming on the inside. We did throw the hand up in frustration. You can't see it from this angle too much, but Albon there on our left-hand side clears us going down towards 11 and up into P9. The tyre driver goes once again, and there's Ricciardo and Perez. Pierce under constant pressure. Ocon and Gasly, the two Frenchmen, not too far behind them. We'll turn our fuel back down to lean mix, who are actually below target at this stage. We'll get back over target, but Albon gets back in front. And of course, DRS is in play for the first time in this Grand Prix in lap number 3 and go down towards turn 1 again, but Albon's just too far back, and the fact the fuel's in lean mix obviously means we're considerably slower. So we P10 for now. Ricciardo might try and go for moving to turn 1, won't get close enough, so we'll maintain our place for now. Onto lap 5, falling away from Albon then, and Perez might try and go for a move on corner exit. There he goes, the exit at turn 10. DRS in the Mexicans' favour, and he'll charge into the points paying places, leaving us pointless in P11 with Ricciardo now not too far behind us either. Will he try and go something too? Perez pulling away. The link with the AlphaTauri isn't too suited to the circuit compared to the Racing Point, obviously a lot faster than us in general. Lap 7 now, Ricciardo is now gearing up to make a move for P11. Perez is 1.2 in front, so a train is forming in front. Those guys not getting away too much. The top 3 are doing a good job. Hamilton, Verstappen, I think that's Lance Stroll in 3rd place right now, fantastically. Ricciardo though on our outside going towards turn 11 once again, which seems to be our weak spot on this circuit. Ricciardo making the move and jumping into P11, pushes us down to 12th place. We're still practically pushing on corner exit, but a bit of a slide off of turn 12, and as a result we lose a few tenths, and Ricciardo can breathe a little bit easier for the minute. But of course DRS will be in play going down the main straight once again. Can we get close enough to the Australian? He's got no DRS of his own. We're going to close in as much as we can towards this first corner, but again not enough. Ricciardo half a second to the good. He now assumes control of P11 and we're down to P12. But fortunately, as I said, there is a train forming here on lap number 9 of this Grand Prix, and you can see it starting to build ever so slightly in front of us, and obviously being joined by Perez and Ricciardo. So I'll show you it might be a matter of time when we catch those guys. But there's our power unit so far. I see on 71%. I'm concerned about that on the most, because that will do damage to all the other components if not taken care of properly. On to the end of lap 10 now, and closing in on that train. Of course, after a while, they will back themselves up, and it is us to try and take advantage, to try and nab some places back, get ourselves back towards the points. One of the Ferraris coming into the pit lane here. I'm not sure that's Leclerc or Vettel. We'll get confirmation as we come down this main straight, but we are now in DRS range of Ricciardo. Once again, Ocon and Gasly, no threat behind us, 2.5 seconds behind, and Vettel's the first car into the pit. And I imagine, based on the episode in China, I imagine we'll see Leclerc in their laps time as well. Ferrari going for a different strategy compared to everyone else in the opening first 2 stints of this Grand Prix. So pushing on, looking to try and close on Ricciardo around the outside at turn 3. It's unlikely. Can we do it on corner exit? Pushing in front, no battery required. Jumping overtake briefly, let's move it alongside, but pulling clear of the Australian and putting ourselves back inside the points paying places. And here goes Carlos Sainz, next car into the pit on lap number 11. Leclerc joining him too. And you see Verstappen and Hamilton also making their stops. So a few guys going a bit earlier on those soft tyres, and some of them got to go a few laps later. Bottas now leads the way. It's Norris second, Albon third, Perez fourth, and we sit in the 5th spot to take full advantage of these guys who are all on soft tyres and are all pull into the pit lane, make their first stops of the race. As a result, we'll take the lead away, but don't look too far, because there goes Hamilton and Verstappen not too far behind us. Of course, they're not our race, so we shouldn't really be fighting them for any reason at all. And we'll enjoy leading the race for a moment, but of course we will have to most likely give up these places to the cars behind who are obviously fighting for the race win. It's not really our position to be doing that, and we'll lose time to the cars we're trying to catch. So later on in the lap, on to lap 13, Hamilton on our left-hand side going towards 11, takes the place, not too bitter at this one though. And we're going to go wide in turn 12 to allow the Dutchman through, of course showing that good sign for Red Bull that of course we can work as a second driver to Verstappen if they need us to, but much we like to be going for the race win ourselves, the AlphaTauri, not in a position to do that. So on to lap 16 then, nearing the end of the first half of this Grand Prix, and we're into the pit lane for our first and only stop of this race. The Canadian tyres done a fantastic job. Perhaps fell off about 6 or so 7 laps in compared to everyone else, but we have done a solid job on them to make them last this long. And onto the hard tyres to go to the end of the Grand Prix on these, the final 20 laps, all set to be done on this hard tyre. And I think we've actually done quite well here, because making our way out of the pit lane and back towards turn 1, we're actually quite a way in front of Sainz and Bottas here. The pit crew have done an absolute masterclass here. And we've managed to, despite being on the harder tyre, we've managed to make this work and actually take places away from everyone else who we were chasing at this point in the Grand Prix. So on to lap number 18, end of the first half of the race. Yellow flag going down towards turn 1. Not sure who that's for. It looks like one of the Alfa Romeos. No issue for the Ferraris. They're both in front of us right now. Vettel and Leclerc, P4 and P5. So I can only imagine which one it's going to be. And of course, after a double DNF last time in China, they're being dosed with the exact same medicine here as we continue on towards 10-7. It's Kimi Raikkonen who's out. And the Iceman deals with his second retirement in 4 Grand Prix to open the season off. 2020 has not gone well for that team. Not a point scored, and another retirement for that team. Have a look at the replay here as what's happened to Kimi Raikkonen to knock him out of the Grand Prix. Everything's going fine as he charges down towards turn 1, but you'll see him, of course, push the car over to the right-hand side of the racetrack. No smoke or anything, so again, another failure inside of the race. Got not a clue as to what it is. that keeps going wrong with that Alfa Romeo this season, but it's just not doing at all what they needed to do. And Raikkonen once again finds himself out of the Grand Prix, out in Shanghai, out in Zandvoort too. So he parks the car, that brings down to 19 in this race, and pushing on to end of lap number 20. We'll get 16 laps to go when the safety car comes into the pit lane. Hamilton leads from Verstappen. It's a close race between these guys, and Stroll in third, Vettel fourth, Leclerc fifth, and we sit in sixth place. Sainz and Bottas will be very racy on the restart. Right behind us, we've got a lot of fuel to play around with, a full tank of ERS to try and make a move. We try and have a move like we did in Bahrain, going towards turn 1 on Charles Leclerc. It was on Albon before. Can we do it on Leclerc this time? Green flag goes back in the air. 16 laps to go here in Zandvoort. Leclerc defends the inside. Going to try around the high lane into turn 1. Looking upstairs on corner exit. Can we pull clear the Monegasque in the Ferrari? Going towards turn 2 is still side by side. We've got the better line going in on the outside. We're going to squeeze him towards the inside and up into P5 here. Have we got an outside chance at a podium finish for AlphaTauri, just our 4th race in Formula 1? Stroll's on course to do it right now. Vettel will be hunting him down, and Verstappen and Hamilton resume their duel as they were going at it before we made our first pit stop earlier on this race. So P5 for us now. That's 10 points going AlphaTauri's way, and of course our way to try and pull us level with Gasly in the championship. On to lap number 24. There's our power unit, 75% on the ICE, and this is before the time when we could actually get knocked out of the race for retirement. Back in these days, you were just ultra slow, and the car billowed smoke. You couldn't see what's going on behind you. So if you had a massive train, you were completely cooked. Vettel is still struggling to get around Stroll here for P3. On to lap 26. Leclerc is giving us constant chase behind. Off of turn number 14 and down the main straight once again. DRS is in play for the Monegasque towards that first corner. Down the inside, our AlphaTauri's got no chance against this Ferrari, especially with DRS. Into that first corner, Leclerc reassumes P5. We're down to P6 once again, but Sainz and Bottas 2.7 and 3 seconds behind us respectively. On to lap 28.
Some information on Hamilton. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
And that is the sound that all the Dutch fans in the crowd, as well as Max Verstappen on the radio, would have wanted to hear. But Hamilton has got some kind of problem that will definitely slow down that seemingly bulletproof Mercedes. After that retirement in Bahrain, Hamilton has not been the same since, and it looks like that first victory since Australia will have to wait. There goes Verstappen to the inside, and the home fans roar with delight as the Dutch Lion claims P1 in front of the main straight at Zandvoort, and Verstappen will no doubt start pulling away. He hasn't led all day, and now the last 9 or 8 laps look to be his. On to lap 32 for us though, still in P6. Vettel and Leclerc closing on Hamilton, Stroll in there too, still on course for a podium. But as for us, Sainz and Bottas have caught us. That train are now right in our mirrors, and we have to see, should Sainz go for a move down this main straight? Will he get close enough? I shouldn't think so. We were half a second behind Ricciardo, and we couldn't do it on him. So I doubt Sainz can do it on us, but he's getting closer and closer. Just knocked on that door, letting us know that he's right there. Is anyone home at this point? It's time to find out. Down this main straight onto lap 34. Sainz closing in all the more, a lot closer this time. Going to defend the inside line going towards that first corner. The Spaniard can't go around the outside and will maintain P6 for now. It's going to be a very close fought race all the way to the end here, but I think we're going to have enough to hold these guys off in the closing laps, unless Sainz goes for anything drastic and we don't see it coming. On to the final lap of this race, on to lap 36. Sainz about 7 tenths behind us now. I've managed to hold him off. He's gone for no real moves at the minute, and it does look like we're set for P6, but it's not over yet. You don't say anything until the checker flag has fallen in this sport. And speaking of checker flags falling, Verstappen's a few corners away from doing just that. He only took the lead on lap number 29 of this Grand Prix, but it's going to hold, and the last 8 laps are all he needed. And as he rounds turn 14, the home fans on their feet, the Orange Army in delight to claim his emphatic home victory. It's Max Verstappen who wins. He takes the checker flag in P1. Lance Stroll will be through for second place. Vettel is coming in to take away third from Charles Leclerc, who gave a valiant effort to catch up to that train. They've all dispatched Lewis Hamilton, who runs to the line in 5th place. That Mercedes, they were on course for a fantastic day. It's fallen short of them at the flag. And meanwhile, here we come now. Sainz is right there. Might go for a move to the outside, going towards turn 11. He's going to go for it. He is there. I have to give him the space through 11 and 12. There's Verstappen crosses the line. He'll win by a dominant margin over Stroll. And we hold off Sainz just about on the outside. We have the better line going in. We have the better drive off. And now into the last 2 corners. We're going to burn all our fuel up and try and avoid hitting low fuel mode before we reach the finish line. No fuel crisis this time in Zandvoort. Going to run to the flag and take our career best 6th place finish. Sainz behind us in 7th. And all in all, a very, very enjoyable race to run overall. I didn't think we'd be on course to try and nab some points, but the strategy was played fantastically by the team. The mediums to hards worked like a gem. Drive today as a result. P10 to P6. What a drive. And Verstappen takes the flag.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
Well, chasing Lewis Hamilton appeared to be pretty fruitful for Max Verstappen in the end, who takes the victory. Lance Stroll nabs a podium finish, the first for Racing Point this season, and Vettel comes home in third. Fantastic race here in Zandvoort. Without further ado, let's have a look at the final results. Now, the championship standings have changed at the end of the first quarter of the campaign.
So, let's review the drivers' standings. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I have to give it to Cohen. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone else did a better job today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Let's have a look then at the remainder of the top 10. So Leclerc comes home in 4th, and it's Hamilton 5th, 6th place for us, Sainz in 7th, Bottas takes 8th, 9th for Alexander Albon, and 10th for Lando Norris. Gasly goes without points, so we'll outscore our teammate once again, help us close on him in the championship. The driver standings, Bottas still leads, but Verstappen only 7 back now, so the Dutchman getting awfully close to that championship top spot. Gasly down to 9th place in the end after that. We take P12 in the championship, just 3 points off our teammate, and Ricciardo and Ocon separate us. Mercedes still show the way the constructors then over Red Bull by only 20 now. Now AlphaTauri down to 6th place, McLaren jumping us, and a Racing Point jumping us too. So let's try and work to get those places back. So, but guys, that'll do it for this episode of the F1 Ultimate Career Series. I do hope you did enjoy this one. If you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more future F1 content. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you guys, and goodbye.